Send him the underdog energy. He can do it.
Send him the underdog energy. All right, well, underdog energy acquired in the top left-hand side. Looking to disregard any underdog energy. It is going to be Wayne, our red Zerg player, formerly known as Ratata, just in case. Oh, Vanya even, just in case he weren't quite up to date, guys. Good to know.
Just in case.
Some
On
people
top
don't know.
right-hand side, it is his opponent, ForJumy.
Beautiful.
Who's Jumi?
Who's Jumi?
That is the question. Yeah.
It's what this whole thing is for, Cats. How could you not know?
Well, I understand that, but I don't know what that is. I of course understand that this is all for Jumi.
Well, we'll just have to ask him.
I suppose we do.
Did we ever think about just asking the guy? Like,
well, I need
easy.
to get to an interview, so like it would be much easier if he started winning some, and then like later on you're like, hey, I'm gonna put that on him. I'm gonna put that on him.
Cats is just brutal. He's just like, well, I guess we know if we ever got to talk to the guy. Bleeding neck, Cats.
That's what I was saying. Oh my god. Yeah.
Cats is just ripping people out here. Jeez.
I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely brutal.
ForJumy's a nice guy. I mean, ForJumy got done wrong by Solar one time as well on Rank Roulette. I'll never forget.
I didn't see this
Solar watched the Rank Roulette game. It was ForJumy all along. He guessed Platinum 1. One of the toughest things you've ever seen.
That's brutal, man.
He never recovered from that, I think, ForJumy.
This goes two ways, though. You remember Halston uploaded that video of Bunny vs Ragnarok. We called it like he called it Bunny vs Ragnarok, but it was actually like Baby Marine versus I can't think of the Zerg, but like and everyone was like watching it and like had the viewership of like a top Korean game. So you know what, the masses can't tell that the Koreans are very good apparently. So
yeah,
of
course. Yeah, that was a great experiment. Very cool by Harstem. And it is easy to get good games if the opponents are evenly matched, right? And like the mistakes at the highest level, they're oftentimes forced, so they're difficult to see, right? It's like I think that a diamond player can macro very well against another diamond player, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But then you start, clemming it up, and all of a sudden you messed everything up, and you're like, oh my god, the one time I play against the Grandmaster, I do so poorly.
Yeah, well, because they're good. They make you make mistakes. I'll never forget when I played GSL qualifiers, and I played against Solar, and I've never lost a game to two Zerglings before. And it's not like two Lings got in, they killed stuff. It's like I literally just lost the game because his two Lings moved so much that it threw me off my entire game because I kept having to look at them.
Of course.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then you feel bad, right? And then people feel bad. They're like, oh my god, I don't normally make these mistakes. It's like, no crap. It's your opponent.
No crap.
No cap. We have a couple of queens here. Spreading creep just chilling on the side of Wayne. Very close rush distance by ground on this map. So maybe he could do something nasty. He does like the nasty, right? He does like queen walks and such.
Yeah, I mean, Wayne is a very aggressive player. He will not hold back, and he will even do builds such as like knocking down rocks and walking the close by ground distance. So 100% a possibility. There's already a Roach-Ron coming up, so not that's guaranteeing to go and do damage, but it could be a step towards that, right? Is what I'm already thinking when I see Wayne in the game. That is just like you kind of say. It's kind of what Wayne is known for. It's what he's kind of typically up to, so that would not be too much of a shocker. So we have this Oracle moving in. Queen is there. I'm just going to deflect that Oracle for the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to reposition the Spore as well, so, his opponent won't know exactly where to expect it next time, should he want to go around and be like, oh, I'm going to rally it behind your mirror line, because it's out of position. Now that won't happen no more, as ForJumy is looking for any opportunity that he can find with his Oracle, but none yet to be found. +1 milli on the way for a Wayne.
Nice. Yep, getting that melee upgrade. Something a little bit different. Is not a guarantee. It's not something you see every game, and we don't see it a lot nowadays. Obviously, Bane's got nerfed a little bit on the +2 and so on, so melee upgrades in general have backed away because, part of the main playstyle. So that's always interesting to see. That when we do get to see it, we kind of, wonder what it's exactly going to be. So yeah, excited to see what Wayne has in store for us with that.
That will be exciting indeed. Good creep spread so far, so a lot of options open as far as movement out on the map. Baneling nest also nearly completed. As ForJumy does a very good, nice job, as I'm saying that, to kind of like cut the creep short, right? And Wayne is gonna need all three of his queens here at the vanguard to continue to spread in that direction. But ForJumy with options here to at least cut the trail to 1 if he wants to with those oracles, and he's doing a good job of it.
Yes, he is gonna. Nice little bit of the way done. Oracle coming up, Lincoln +1 coming through, Robo Bay on the way. So you see ForJumy going into all of the tech. And obviously Wayne just getting his own lair up now is in no kind of real rush or anything to kind of get going, right? It's just kind of taking a nice slow start for the moment.
Yeah, no battery at the natural is also revealed by Wayne at this point. ForJumy still not choosing to drop a battery is somewhat surprising, as this Lynx will be able to breach through a Stalker next time if if he's not careful with that. The Lynx will get tagged with Revelation as well, and actually there is no Spore here from Wayne at the third. No Queens in position either. It's gonna mean 10, 11 workers perhaps from ForJumy here to make it 13. Jeez.
Wow.
He's gonna sacrifice one of his oracles to guarantee a 14th kill, and with that the worker count is completely even.
Oh, an absolute disaster, man.
Oh no, yeah.
Like
Absolute disaster.
That is just crazy amounts of damage. That ain't not meant to happen, you know. That's way more damage than you're meant to be taking. So a little bit of a shock of that.
Yeah, just like in a Spore. A little bit late into the game, so it's not gonna be game ending or anything like that for Wayne, of course. But yeah, definitely will complicate things a lot. So now looking to poke with some Lynx. A nice wall up front for ForJumy, but not really anything that pressures the Lynx off inherently, right? Like there's no cannon behind that wall. There's not a battery that kind of says, hey, like my units are gonna start killing you, and you gotta watch out. So the Lynx just very comfortably kill a building or two as the Overseer now makes his way into the main to try to scout what's going on. No speed on it, so it will likely end up dying. And on the other side, the Oracles do the same to try to keep tabs on their opponent.
Yeah, action continues through. Is just going to see these Oracles trying to move about. Wayne is, again, getting his roaches, his roach speed, Bane speed. I mean, he's pretty much set on the aggressive army if he wants to try and attack, but the question is, does he still have an opportunity?
Like this.
Man, this base is the bane of Wayne at this point.
Yeah. I mean, these Oracles did not fly to the best location there. So actually that trade ends up going well for Wayne, as only 4 workers fall for the 2 Oracles. But yeah, that's insane that he didn't make a Spore there again. Yet still, Wayne is ready to go, and this is a very, very scary attack.
Lynx on the counter, yeah, gonna get rid of the 4th base already, so that's at least a big step in the right direction. Kill, not a cancel. Just gonna be seeing the Stalkers come through, a couple Lings going down. Just gonna be seeing the Ling Bane +1 missiles all coming up. As you see a couple more devs gonna shade out and about. Well, drone's gonna get in there, man.
ForJumy here.
The damage done is insane, Cass. 22 workers dead in this game. We're gonna see Wayne trying to go for one big attack. He gets up the ram. Force fields are honestly not really that great.
Scary.
This is
not
terrible.
Great. I mean, nice blink to actually make use of his force fields. One of the better blinks that I've seen ever, maybe. I mean, that was amazing, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough regardless. The Colossus try to do what they can as they go on the high ground. He might just end up holding on the back of that. I mean, that was such a cool decision from ForJumy. I was very worried about the amount of force fields, but what great use he made of them. At first they looked like they whiffed, and then he turned them into magic.
Roach Ravager, Bane, Ling, all gathering up together. Disruptor +2 attack coming up. I mean, Jumy holds. He's still got a lot of the tech in store, right? So he's still got the Colossi up. Wayne has to go. He doesn't have the economy to kind of let this play out for too long. The tech units are going to be the saviors of ForJumy. If he survives his next wave, it's because the tech units are extremely powerful. Let's see if it's going to be enough. As Ling, Ravager, Roach, Bane all sets up. We get ready to go. We get ready to send it into this location.
Yeah, it's so scary without force fields, without sentries, though, against this many Banelings and a decent chunk of like just trickling units. Oh, here's the first disruptor shot, and it's huge onto a lot of Banelings. Actually, that is one of the better clumps that he could have ever hoped for. The Biles are not even aiming for the army, but the Colossus are still left behind enough that they get taken down. And now ForJumy is being kited back into his natural And it doesn't look like he is gonna hold. It doesn't look like he's gonna have enough, unfortunately. And Wayne should have this game in the back of, on the back of a very strong timing attack, what he is known for indeed.
Yeah, he should. As this Colossus just shows up, dies as well. ForJumy is gonna have to tap out GG, and that is gonna give Wayne a victory here in game number 1. He is gonna grab that opening map. As we kind of felt like, I feel like he saved enough of the tech units that he was gonna have a shot at it. Obviously, just didn't happen. Didn't work out. And that is going to be game number 1, going the way of Wayne.
It really feels bad with like 1 sentry and like 2 force fields to spare, right? Like against that many banelings. I'm not actually sure. Or do you find like is there what's the better way, or what should he have had? Because when you looked at their armies going up against each other, it felt at the start that ForJumy just couldn't take a good trade, and then he made those 2 force fields into such a great location for him to actually take that engagement. I'm watching it right now on the stream. That was so awesome. But it wasn't enough at the end. In the end, right? So what could he have done better on defense, you think?
I think he did lose some probes. I mean, again, it's the force fields, right? Like the first force fields initially weren't great. Even if you protect some of the force, like if some of the probes the first time around, you have the tech units and the economy to buffer the tech units. I think as well the Colossus micro when it came to round 2 was not great, because there was multiple points where the Colossus died and he could have probably kept it alive longer with the Prism. So I think that was the problem as well. That was definitely painful.
Okay. Yeah, that is very fair. So a little bit better micro here and there would have also helped. What about Disruptors instead of Colossus? Do you think that's ever an option?
No, I mean, I think Colossi are actually very good on this map, because... So I actually think one of the issues as well is ForJumy let Wayne to the high ground too easily. I actually think one of the bigger issues on Ghost River is actually it's very difficult to attack into the third, because you've got to go up a ramp here, like a ramp up or a ramp to the right, but neither of them directly lead onto the base, so you've got to go up a ramp and round a corner. And I always feel like that's the trouble people have attacking the third, but Wayne got to the high ground, then he engaged, right? And I think that's kind of the defender's advantage, or some of the defender's advantage lost, because that's then an open space. So I think you maybe need to hold the ramp a little bit more defensively from the very... Oh, I guess aggressively in this case, like aggressively defend. Maybe that could have been the deal breaker as well. So, because I think that's what I see a lot in Ghost River. It's like, it feels like people should die on the third, but then actually, it's very hard to get up the ramp. But Wayne had no issue with that part.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Needed to get some taxes out of a very strong position that ForJumy basically just forfeited.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. And now we have game number 2. I mean, let's see if ForJumy can make some adjustments. He definitely had some very strong moments in that last game, and this time around he's starting against Wayne here in the top left-hand side by blocking his natural expansion.
Bottom right for ForJumy trying to get a map here, as obviously this would be a rough start for him, because not only will he be losing out here if he goes O2, he already lost O2 to Hero Marine, so he would not have won a map so far. No one wants that to be that ESL regional experience, so ForJumy, and it looked hopeful, man. He started the game off killing so many workers. What do you do as ForJumy this time, Cats? Because, like, it's not like you're going to get 15 workers, you know, given to you on a platter again. You couldn't make it work last time. I mean, that concerns me big time.
Big time. That was a little later in the game though. Like like it wasn't like, you know, the first 2 oracles like on the perfect timing just hitting. So at least there's that. Like I feel like, you know, 15 workers then is like the equivalent to maybe like 7 workers earlier, which is still like really nice, right? Like I feel like he did get an advantage from that. But I don't feel like you know, it's like, oh, okay, like it's game over now. You got this in the bag, right?
Yeah. I just feel like when it's 15, it's like substantial no matter when, right? So
for sure. Yeah, no doubt. It was tough. Yeah, I mean Wayne did catch the oracles on the way back after, but yeah, I mean at that point it's 19 workers for 2 oracles, so you're completely right, Wardicho. That was kind of a dream situation for ForJumy in many ways. Like for me, like holding the ramp that you were talking about, like sentries would have also helped there, right? Like a couple extra force fields, just more than 2. I think could have gone a long way with that many Colossus.
Yeah. I guess at the end of it, the TLDR is there's a lot that could have changed, right? There's a lot that could have gone differently, but unfortunately, none of it was quite there for ForJumy, and hence Wayne gets the 1-0 lead. Wayne in a strong position for the moment in this best of 3, and waiting to see where game number 2 is going to take us. I mean, starting off pretty regularly, right? It's going to see ourselves a Stargate coming up and everything, so nothing too crazy just yet. Whoa. That's his
It's
lag.
me?
Yeah,
I
it's
should,
you.
I'm lagging. I should leave, huh?
Your Discord froze as well, but if you're back, then you're good, I guess.
I think I'm back, but this
Yeah,
this seems to have happened a couple times.
Yeah,
Very strange.
All right, well, we can survive for now. I don't feel like it's a consistent thing at least, so yeah, I think
Yeah.
we could. Stick around a little, we'll see.
Alrighty.
We'll see. Couple drones, couple lings coming about. As we do have ourselves the well, again, Oracle coming up, Warpgate coming online. Just getting a little bit of all of this coming through for the moment. And that link speed coming up as well, so a little bit of everything coming on. Obviously, waiting to see where the diversions may be or where the interesting parts of this may come about.
Yeah, a couple of adepts for the moment just shading around and trying to see what they can do. Link speed is done, so they will try to grab a Ling, and Wayne knows that. You don't really want to try to surround adepts that are obviously about to shade away, so instead ForJumy will use them to try to secure his third as he tucks them between the third and the pylon, and the Oracle is here as well to offer assistance on the high ground unseen should his opponent want to commit for this third.
Yeah, pretty reasonable so far then, as we just have a third coming up. The Oracle again will help to defend. The Wolf Gate's about to be done. Looking okay. Waiting to, again, really see.
Not too bad.
Okay, Rotron just came down. So this is a much later Rotron than last time as well. I mean, I say much later by 20 seconds, which is fairly substantial in this early stage of the game. So definitely suggest Wayne's going to be a little bit more chill on the Roaches and a bit more just defensive altogether. So, yeah.
Yeah. The second Oracle pops up on the side of ForJumy, and that's going to entice him to move out on the map. There is a decent perimeter set up for Wayne, so it's very unlikely that ForJumy finds the tiny gap, if there is one, where the Overlords are not going to spot these Oracles. And so he should be well warned and in position to welcome the two Oracles. There is still no Spore finished, but the Oracle will pay with its life for just the two workers, so that is, I mean, an incredibly good start for Wayne.
Yeah, that is a very good start. As you get rid of an Oracle, you're always going to be happy. Less map control on the other side, etc. is just a big benefit, right? So that's almost always going to be a good thing here. As we do have our few links still gathering together in the center. And the few drones continue to come through as well. It's going to be seeing Evo Chamber along with a Blink and +1 from ForJumy, so he will go into that style of play, which is going to give you a little bit of aggression and so on kind of throughout this, so that's going to be one thing we can check out as well. As the feelings move onto the map and the adepts move around as well. And we have that Blink +1. Like I said, definitely going to be a big kind of dictator as to how the future of this game goes over the next little while.
Yeah, absolutely. The links are going to poke in, but there's not much to find there as the adepts are ready to defend that base. 5 roaches now in production. The lair nearly completed. An additional round of drones as well to Wayne, who is trying to take his fourth base. On the side of ForJumy, he is taking to a Templar Archives, additional gateways coming online, as well as Blink and +1. So we're gearing up for this game to start transitioning a little bit longer into in that last game at least, right? Like it looks like we might be going into the later stages. Let me do what you're saying.
Yeah, we're just gonna have ourselves.
Is it fixed?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You were like, this is really funny, a little off topic, but basically, I just had cats like slow-mo, like your cam was just slow-mo, so I was like watching you like,
that's wild.
Not even so like, weird. Not even like low FPS, like legitimately slow-mo, so I was just watching you talk slow motion, it's like really mesmerizing, I'm like, crap, I have to talk too.
What?
Yeah, it was,
really?
It was wild, man, yeah.
Yeah, you know what's weird is maybe like that's what, like I feel like something with the camera might be causing the issue with the lag, or no? Or does it have to be a connection?
I have no idea,
no
mate.
clue.
I'm not this smart with stuff like that.
Oh man, that's tough.
5 on the way, by the way.
Fourth base 4 for ForJumy. 5 on the way. Wow. Okay, what do you make of this, Wardich? Are we rushing Brute Lords? Probably
Lurkers.
More likely Ultras or something?
Yeah, I think
Lurkers, okay,
right.
the classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. I mean, Hydrogen was down as well, but yeah, in general, I just think you look at this and you say, well, yeah, I mean, you're playing a longer game. Lurkers have been the kind of the taste of the month lately as well, right? Definitely has been a popular choice as of late, so also a factor. Do you have our
they are powerful. Of course, the transition for ForJumy likely into carriers, and carriers are kind of a counter to lurkers, right? Like in the sense that Hydras are not very good supportive elements against air. You usually want corruptors, so lurkers are there still to zone out. They can still be very effective. They can still be good against the kind of like the leftover ground army that ForJumy obviously has from these earlier stages of the game. But once carriers are out in enough numbers, the lurker player starts kind of being on a bit of a timer.
Yeah. No, it's true. The lurkers are going to have that real kind of power spike, and then they're going to dip down if the you know, Protoss lives that long. So you're right. There's definitely like a power spike element to it, and then later in the game, I mean, lurkers are basically your road to being able to afford everything, right? As then you can kind of get the Spire up. You can afford a lot of Corruptors and just be able to actually fight in that late game with the spellcasters available, etc. too. So I think that's everything that kind of gets built up in that regard.
Yeah. First carrier out on the way for ForJumy, who is finishing now his next Stargate as well. But it looks like Wayne is ready to go. The creep threat is very good. ForJumy trying to hold here at the top of this ramp, so he's trying to make use of that choke to tax his opponent on his way to him. 4 Zealot run by on one side, another set of Zealots, low Zealots of that on the other side, as he realizes, wow, these guys don't have charge. I should probably research that.
Yeah, absolutely. Charge is a pretty good upgrade. Definitely going to help you, especially if you want to use those Zealots to kind of tank the lurkers and close the distance on them and get a bit of damage out of it as well. So, gotta imagine that that is somewhat part of the plan across the board here as well.
And just a bit of an oversight not to get it before. Good storms here to start.
Yeah, definitely good storms. But the lurkers have position already, right? And the fact that lurkers already in position is terrifying. So, a little bit worried about that. Those lurkers do indeed get to work. So they're going to put some work in right now. Just going to see the Zealots firing away, putting some damage out, and hoping to, again, kind of win this fight. Wayne is definitely holding position pretty nicely for the moment. Just going to be seeing these lurkers trying to step further forward. Roaches take a storm.
Yeah, I gotta be really careful with those Hydras not to get stormed, right? But at the same time, you don't want to expose the lurkers to immortal fire. So as the Hydras are baited into the army of ForJumy, the storms will rain down on them, and with that, the carrier should not struggle anymore to clear this. And all of a sudden, with a hold and a little bit of poke on the other side with his Zealots, ForJumy makes some magic happen, and I like his position a lot better, right?
Yep, no, I'm with you. It's gonna get a whole lot better after that. I mean, this is gonna be Wayne kind of struggling on supply even, so definitely has a bit of an impact in that regard. As plus 2 air weapons is coming up, the extra carriers on the way. The longer you live here as ForJumy, the better it is until Wayne stops and starts stacking up himself. But because that's not the route Wayne's taking, he's taking the more aggressive route of attacking in and trying to fight, then you are genuinely now, as ForJumy, getting into a little bit of trouble. It's definitely becoming concerning here, and I think that's like I say, concern for Wayne, who is kind of on the clock. He's got to keep going, but there's more and more carriers, Cats. I'm becoming less of a believer.
Less of a believer indeed. I mean, there's 2 more on the way, 4 already on the field. Nice War Prism there. Again, ForJumy having the presence of mind to remake that after it fall, and continues to apply pressure here, which puts this attack from Wayne on a timer, and it makes it so much more difficult for him to pay attention to this and also make sure that his Hydras are not getting stormed on the other side. So instead, he will choose to disengage. The Viper is actually used to get a parasitic bomb on the War Prism, which seems a little bit desperate to me. And yeah, there will be a cleanup, but ForJumy gains even more space. Now about to get a mothership, an extra War Prism on the way, 2 more carriers, plenty of storms, and no real sign of corruptors or any sort of transition on the side of Wayne. So starting to look very, very difficult for him.
It's starting to look very difficult. Definitely getting a little bit tougher the further this goes. As we just take a few moments to stop and figure things out. Hydra's lurkers on a little bit of a move around the bottom for a while here. Just going to be seeing the lurkers getting caught in a stasis ward. I mean, Wayne has to, again, find a way, and he's finally going to start, by the way, to build into that that Spire. So, like, looking towards the later stages, but, I mean, I think it's way too late to start thinking of that now. That's something you can, have to kind of think about a long time ago, no?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Jumi did such a great job time and time again as well of remaking his War Prism and always having one active. Whenever Wayne moves out, there's a War Prism moving in, and that has made things very, very difficult for Wayne. You require a lot less attention onto your Zealots. You just warp them in and chill, maybe shift click if you're feeling fancy, but your opponent has to react properly. So this War Prism goes down, and I wouldn't be surprised if another one starts being built right away. But again, this gains ForJumy a lot of space. I'm surprised when he got the stasis trap onto the lurkers, onto the 2 or 3 lurkers, that he didn't jump in and just try to take an engagement, because there was only like 2 lurkers left. So his ground army, I think, could have easily advanced and maybe look to engage. But now he seems to be there. He is maxed out and he has a much better army than his opponent. So let's see what he can get done.
Couple storms going the other way. The time warp will drop. That mothership being put to use right now. Jumi is definitely winning the start of this fight, Cats, and he's got Zealots all over the place as well. That is such a problem to deal with right now from Wayne's point of view. Like, that is just not fun at all. So that ain't great. I mean, this just continues to look worse and worse, I think, and I think it's fair to say that we're very much so on our way to a whole spot of bother here as we, yeah, I mean, I don't see how really ForJumy doesn't win out, because he can just spend his money to rebuild. Wayne is like hanging on by a thread. He needs to continue taking great fights, but as he keeps rebuilding Hydras, I'm just not a believer in that at all. As long as the storms are remaining, that army should melt.
But are there storms? There's one storm remaining. There's no storms remaining is the issue, actually. So this is actually kind of insane. A lot of the Templars have actually fallen in this fight, and now with this arc, I mean, Wayne is somehow making Hydras win against Carrier Storm, which is... Oh my god, this has never happened to me. I have never... I can't believe he's done this.
As long as there's storm, I say, as there's no storm. Cool.
Yeah.
Hydras are so good when there's no splash, man. Like, I mean...
They are.
Yeah, okay. That's
it's
rough.
tough. I mean, yeah, like, there should have been storms, right? It's just the fact that some of those Templars were walking into the lurkers or something, I guess, because, yeah, I feel like there was plenty of storms and not enough going down onto the Hydras. So the Carriers are eventually left exposed, and a game that looked to be going in the favor of ForJumy is instead turned around for Wayne to win with Hydra Lurker Viper against a mass air fleet. Tough.
Jeez, that's ridiculous.